Captain Barnacle Bumblebeard was known far and wide as the most peculiar pirate to sail the seven seas. With a comically bushy beard that seemed to have a life of its own, and a flamboyant feathered hat that would make even the most daring of peacocks envious, he was a sight to behold. His ragtag crew consisted of three equally eccentric characters. First, mate Skippy the Skittish, a tall, lanky fellow who jumped at the slightest sound. Pegleg Polly, the parrot who had lost a leg in a legendary brawl with a seagull. And Boisterous Bill, the cook with an uncanny talent for juggling knives while preparing meals. One day, as Captain Bumblebeard and his crew sailed the high seas, they stumbled upon a mysterious treasure map. The map was beautifully illustrated, with intricate drawings of sea monsters, mermaids, and what appeared to be the largest, most spectacular treasure chest they had ever seen. The crew was immediately captivated by the promise of wealth and adventure.
Me hearties! We've got a treasure to find!
Captain Bumblebeard declared, waving the map around like a madman.
According to this map, we need to sail to the Isle of the Giggling Gulls. There, we'll find a cave filled with gold, jewels, and the most peculiar treasure of all, a barrel full of laughter.
The crew couldn't help but chuckle at the thought of a barrel full of laughter, imagining what such a treasure could possibly be.
A barrel full of laughter? What in Davy Jones' locker is that?
Asked Skippy the Skittish, scratching his head in confusion.
Skippy me lad, I have no idea.
Captain Bumblebeard replied with a hearty chuckle.
But it sounds like the greatest treasure a pirate could ever find. Imagine the hilarity that must be contained in such a barrel.
And so, the crew set sail for the Isle of the Giggling Gulls, eagerly anticipating the adventure that lay ahead. Along the way, they encountered numerous obstacles and challenges, each more absurd than the last. There was the time they narrowly escaped being swallowed by a sea monster with a penchant for telling bad puns, and the day they found themselves caught in a storm that rained cats, dogs, and even the occasional octopus. Despite the challenges, Captain Bumblebeard and his crew never lost their sense of humor. They entertained themselves by trading the most ridiculous pirate jokes they could think of, much to the delight of Pegleg Polly, who would squawk with laughter and hop around on her single leg.
What's a pirate's favorite letter?
Boisterous Bill asked one day, his voice barely audible over the sound of sizzling onions in the ship's galley.
R! That's an easy one, matey. It's the letter R.
Captain Bumblebeard replied, grinning from ear to ear.
Wrong, Captain.
Bill said, chuckling.
It's the letter C, because without it, we'd all be pirates.
The crew roared with laughter. Even Skippy the Skittish managed a nervous chuckle. It was moments like these that made their peculiar adventure worthwhile. As they continued their journey, the Isle of the Giggling Gulls drew closer, and excitement filled the salty sea air. One sunny morning, with the island finally visible on the horizon, Captain Bumblebeard gathered his crew for a pep talk.
Me hearties, we've faced monstrous ponds, stormy seas, and falling critters, but we're almost at our destination. Just remember, teamwork and a sense of humor will see us through.
As they approached the island, they could hear the faint sound of seagulls cackling from the shore. True to its name, the Isle of the Giggling Gulls was inhabited by hundreds of gulls, their laughter echoing throughout the island. The crew couldn't help but join in the infectious giggling as they disembarked and began their search for the hidden treasure. The map led them through a dense jungle filled with bizarre and amusing creatures. They passed by juggling monkeys, who challenged Boisterous Bill to a knife-juggling duel. He gladly accepted, and a friendly competition ensued, with the monkeys and Bill exchanging cheeky grins as they threw knives in perfectly timed arcs. Captain Bumblebeard cheered them on, his laughter booming through the jungle. Next, they encountered a group of chatty crabs playing cards, each arguing over who had the better hand.
I've got three of a kind, matey.
one crab would say in a thick pirate accent.
Well, I've got a full house.
Another would retort, waving its claws in triumph. The crew couldn't resist joining the game, and soon they were all swapping jokes and stories with their new crustacean friends. As they ventured further into the island, they came across a village filled with people who seemed to be constantly in fits of laughter. The village was aptly named Guffaw Gulch, and it was clear that the inhabitants shared the same sense of humor as Captain Bumblebeard and his crew.
Me hearties! These be our kind of people.
Captain Bumblebeard exclaimed, slapping Skippy on the back.
Let's see if any of them know where to find this mysterious cave.
Their search led them to an old, toothless fisherman named Chuckles, who claimed to know the exact location of the cave.
I know where you can find that cave,
he said, grinning.
but I'll only show ye if you can make me laugh with the funniest pirate joke I've never heard before.
Captain Bumblebeard wasted no time in accepting the challenge.
All right, Chuckles, try this one on for size. Why did the pirate go to school?
Chuckles raised an eyebrow, clearly intrigued.
I dunno. Why did the pirate go to school?
To improve his air articulation.
Captain Bumblebeard shouted triumphantly, while his crew roared with laughter. Chuckles, too, couldn't help but let out a hearty guffaw, his toothless grin stretching from ear to ear.
That's a good one, Captain.
Chuckles gasped between laughs.
All right, as promised, I'll show you the way to the cave.
Chuckles led them deep into the island's dense jungle, where they found themselves navigating through a maze of twisting vines and laughing hyenas. Their journey was filled with comical mishaps, like when Skippy the Skittish accidentally sat on a whoopee cushion plant, causing a cacophony of flatulent noises that echoed throughout the jungle. Finally, after many laugh-filled hours, they arrived at the entrance to a hidden cave. Chuckles pointed at the cave with a gnarled finger.
There it is, Captain. The cave of chuckling treasure. But beware, it's said to be guarded by a creature so hilariously terrifying that no pirate has ever made it past.
Captain Bumblebeard and his crew exchanged nervous glances but steeled themselves for the challenge.
Thank ye, Chuckles. We'll take it from here,
the captain said, and with a deep breath, he led his crew into the dark, mysterious cave. As they ventured deeper, the walls seemed to close in around them, and the air became thick with tension. The crew couldn't help but feel anxious, their laughter from earlier now a distant memory. Suddenly, they came face to face with the creature Chuckles had warned them about, a giant, grinning sea serpent with the uncanny ability to tell the funniest jokes any pirate had ever heard. Captain Barnacle Bumblebeard and his crew stared in awe at the giant sea serpent, its scales shimmering in the dim cave light. The creature introduced itself as Serpent Sal, the guardian of the cave of chuckling treasure.
You must be the pirates I've been waiting for,
Sal said, its voice booming through the cave.
To pass me and claim your treasure, you must out-joke me in a battle of wits and humor.
Captain Bumblebeard grinned, excited for the challenge.
You're on, Serpent Sal. Me and me crew are known for our sense of humor. Prepare yourself for the best pirate jokes you've ever heard.
And so began the epic joke-off between Captain Bumblebeard, his crew, and Serpent Sal. Each side took turns telling their funniest, most absurd pirate jokes, the laughter echoing throughout the cave.
Why do pirates never use a calendar?
Asked Pegleg Polly, hopping on her single leg with excitement. Serpent Sal, unable to resist the challenge, replied,
I don't know. Why don't pirates use a calendar?
Because they always get lost at sea.
Polly squawked, as the crew erupted in laughter. The battle of jokes continued, with each side trying to outdo the other. Just when it seemed like Serpent Sal was running out of material, the creature told a joke so hilarious, it brought the entire crew to their knees, laughing uncontrollably.
How did the pirate become a boxing champion so fast?
Serpent Sal asked, a grin stretching across its enormous face. Captain Bumblebeard, gasping for breath between laughs, conceded defeat.
All right, Sal, you bested us. How did the pirate become a boxing champion so fast?
Serpent Sal smirked and replied.
Because he had a killer right hook.
The crew roared with laughter, tears streaming down their faces. Captain Bumblebeard wiped the tears from his eyes and admitted,
Serpent Sal, you've got us beat. Your humor is unmatched.
Serpent Sal bowed its enormous head, pleased with the outcome.
You and your crew have entertained me greatly, Captain Bumblebeard. I haven't laughed this hard in centuries. As a reward for your efforts, you may claim the treasure you seek.
Captain Bumblebeard and his crew, still chuckling, followed Serpent Sal deeper into the cave. At last, they arrived at a chamber filled with gold, jewels, and in the center of it all, a magnificent barrel adorned with intricate carvings of laughing faces. The crew eagerly gathered the gold and jewels, but it was the barrel full of laughter that truly intrigued them. Captain Bumblebeard approached the barrel and carefully lifted the lid. As he did so, a burst of laughter exploded from within, filling the entire cave with joy and merriment. The laughter was infectious, causing everyone, even Serpent Sal, to join in the hilarity.
Me hearties! This be the most precious treasure of all.
Captain Bumblebeard shouted, his eyes twinkling with delight.
With this barrel, we can spread laughter across the 7 seas.
And so, Captain Barnacle Bumblebeard and his ragtag crew set sail once again, their ship laden with gold, jewels, and the mysterious barrel full of laughter. Everywhere they went, they shared their newfound treasure, spreading joy and laughter to every port, island, and ship they encountered. As for Serpent Sal, the guardian of the Cave of Chuckling Treasure, it continued to protect its hoard of jokes and riddles, waiting for the next challengers who dared to seek the peculiar treasure that lay within. And so, the legend of Captain Barnacle Bumblebeard and his crew, the most peculiar pirates to ever sail the 7 seas, lived on, their laughter echoing across the oceans for all to hear. They became a symbol of joy and camaraderie, inspiring countless others to embrace humor and treasure the laughter that binds us all together.